Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to do a book page project. It's going to be a journal insert, and we're also going to use an envelope. So if you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Now this is by no means my idea. I saw this on an old video of scrapbooking with me, and I just like to go back and look at her older videos because some of the stuff that she did is really pretty cool. And that's what we're going to do today. So if you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. So we're just starting out with, now this book page here, I don't know, it's out of a kid's book. Let me see. Gotta figure out what I'm doing here. So, your book page can be any size, as long as it fits in on your journal page. This one's about 5 1/4 by 8 and maybe 1/8. But like I say, that really doesn't matter. I just trimmed up the edge a little bit, and I'm just using an envelope. Now it's not the length of the page, but it doesn't have to be. If you want it the length, you just have to find one that's the same size. This one measures about 4 1/4 long by 6 1/4 wide. Now what I did was I took this envelope apart so I could have this as a pattern, and I also used my flap as a pattern. I actually used the back. I used all of it as the pattern, but I just didn't cut these two apart. It was easier to cut this one apart. And then I took my book page and I set my, let me see what's on the other side. This is not the page I'm going to use, so this will be okay. I took my book page and I folded it over some. Now you can decide how far over you want to fold yours, and just kind of make for sure that it's, even at both ends. And this is going to be how we insert it into our page, is by gluing our envelope to this part of the flap. And then when it folds over, then you have it hooked, and you just glue this onto your book page. So I already have one that is inked, so I'm going to use that one. And I have an envelope that's already inked, so I'm going to use that one. And it's a whole envelope. The other one is in pieces. So I folded my flap over about, well, this measures about 1 3/16, so 1 1/4-ish. We'll say. Just depends on how far over you want it to go. Now my envelope is going to stick out over the page, and that's fine because I like the way it looks sticking over the page. Now I have to see what I did with my faux journal page. Hang on a second. Guess I put it with the next project that I'm working on. Okay. So this will just sit in the center of my page. So that's why I say, you can make it bigger. I didn't have a longer book page or a wider one, so mine will just sit in the center. But if yours is bigger, then it'll just sit however in your page. So that's what it'll look like, and then this would just be glued in. But when you glue this in, now you could always make this an extra pocket. You could have these 3 sides glued down, and then you could slip something in under there also as an extra pocket. So now what I want to do, I have marks on my paper where I want my envelope to sit, so it's about evened out in the center. And then I'm going to glue this flap to this part of my envelope. So let me grab my glue. Thought my glue was ready to go. Undoubtedly it was not. Okay. I'm going to put some glue down, and if I don't get all the way to the edge of my book page, I can just add a little bit more. I've got some glue on my paper here, and I don't want it there because I don't want to glue my envelope down. Oh, I slid. Let me slide this down just a little tiny bit. There we go. So I'll just add some more glue under here to take care of what didn't glue down. Let's see. And then we're going to cover this over so it matches our envelope. Now I'm doing my envelope in this paper, and has kind of like a gold color through it. Hopefully now it's not glaring in the camera, and I don't think it is. Looks all right to me. It has gold in it, so I thought this was really pretty. And I haven't used this yet. So I left a little tiny border around the sides of my envelope. Do I want to put this on first, or do I want to add this in first? Maybe I'll add this in first. This is going to be the inside. Now this is cardstock, so this is pretty heavy paper. I think I'll do this part first. So when I cut the envelope, when I cut this to match this, this was the part that was left over. So I just have a little pattern of that also. So, you know, when you get all of this stuff, just keep your little patterns. You just have to match them to the same envelope, because not all the envelopes are cut the same, but so I'm just going to kind of lift this out to give me plenty of room. And like I say, I went around my envelope and I inked. You just want to make for sure that you're not on your fold line. My glue's trying to set up before I'm ready for it. So let me just hold this here and kind of move this around a little bit. Let's fold and make for sure. Yes, that's fine. So now we have that down in there. And then we're going to have this on this side. And even though I had the pattern for this, these flaps are still kind of hard to cut them right to make them match like you want them to. But it'll all be good enough. Still think I want to trim this one little part down here just a little bit. And then maybe right there, just barely. I think that's better. Okay. Now, hopefully once I put the glue on it and set it back down there, it'll be good. Now I moved my camera a little bit, so hopefully I don't go off camera like I did before. When I redid my table and put my camera back, my tower thing, I guess I just didn't, I got it set back too far. So let's hope that this comes out good. Only thing about this glue is it sets up so fast. Faster than what I want it to at times. Well, I think we'll have to go with that. And that looks pretty good. So now I can go back over and ink a little bit to like cover up some of the spots if I really think I need to. Okay, so there's our inside. Then this is going to go all the way over the book page. And I'm thinking that I have to trim this down just a little bit. Let's see here what's going on. Now if I get it set down, sorry I'm off camera. If I get it set down below where it has to be, I can trim that. And I might just have to do that, pull it down a little bit away. And if I don't get the border just exact on both sides, I'm not going to worry about it. So I think it's like that. So I'm going to have to trim my bottom just a little bit. So hopefully now I can get that on there like it's supposed to be. So how's everyone doing today? Such a pretty sunshiny day outside. Nice fall day. Let's see if I can get this back on here right. Now, if I wanted to, I could trim my envelope out there a little bit, but I might just ink it a little bit more. And I wanted my envelope to come all the way to the end out here. Let me see if I can ink this just a little more, just to hide some of that white. Having technical difficulties over here. I think that should be okay. While I'm doing that, I'll just touch that up, and I'll touch that up. So I think that's all right. Not perfect, doesn't have to be. Okay. Now I have my flap. The outside flap is going to match the outside, this part. So I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to turn it around this way. Not driving my glue very straight as usual. Glad I drive straighter in the car than I do my glue. I think I'm going to have to fill my bottle. Okay, now let's give this a whirl. Okay, this one was a lot easier than the other ones, and I think I have to trim a little. Let's run that sponge over this. Just cover that up some. And then we'll trim this off. Trying not to cut my flap, my envelope. There we go. Now I can just ink over that. And gotta glue that corner down. Really like this paper. So pretty. Now on the back, I'm going to add this. Now on the back, this paper's light enough that you can journal on this. You would be able to see it in black ink or blue ink. I think seeing how I'm doing more, I'll just use my Fabri-Tac. And we'll wait for it to run down because I had it sitting upright. I think I left a little pencil mark up there. Okay. Then on the bottom, I'm just going to glue on a little butterfly. And we'll give him some little antennas. So that'll be our journal page. Then on this side, I'm going to add this majestic looking butterfly right up here on my flap. I love the colors of this butterfly. Now, down here, I'm just going to add this little tag. Now this tag you would be able to journal on if you wanted to. And then I'm going to put butterfly, which is fitting. Oops. Just throwing stuff all over now. And then up here on top, I just thought these flowers would be pretty. And then when it's closed, you're going to see flowers, tag, and butterfly. I thought that was a pretty way to finish the front of it. There we go. Now I'm going to put a Velcro dot to hold my flap shut. Let's see which side is which. Okay, so I'm going to put it right about there. And then we'll close that. And when we want to open it, we can just open it right up. And I tore some of my paper off because it tore my Velcro dot off. That's the first time I have had not one of these stick. Well, let me get a different one. Okay, now we got it. So that's the front of our insert. Open my page up, and it would go in here like this. And just open back. Then on this part here, now she didn't do anything with this part here, but I'm going to add some pockets. Now my pockets are going to be the same width as, well, not the same width. They're going to be a little narrower than my envelope, so when it folds over, you're not going to see that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is, this time I guess I'll use a little glue stick and glue this shut. I already cut my notches into it. I doubled the page so it would be sturdy. And then when it goes in, my writing will be the right way. So it'll sit like this. And then my smaller one will go like this. So we'll go ahead and glue this one shut. Okay. Move this and bring this back over, and then this will sit on the long one, and then we'll have two smaller pockets. And let's see, let me erase these marks here before I forget. So I'm just going to kind of center these, not to go over my score line, but center them. And then I'm going to just glue down here across the bottom and up the side. And that just gives extra pocket, well, extra two pockets. So there's that one. And you could put tags or journaling cards, journal paper. You could add pictures into it if you wanted to give it as a gift. It would be a great mass make. If you had lots of scraps, you know, it would be a good scrap buster. Especially if you had a lot of scraps from a leftover project and enough to cover a pocket. Okay, now let me close up my glue. And that one's closed up. So back here, we're going to have some tags, and these are just little journal papers. And then we're going to go down in there. Now let's set this on my page. And we can see what it's going to look like. So your page, however it's going to be, like in the center of your page or whatever. So if your little tags hang over, it's not going to matter because you have a page there. And then we'll put another one in. Then we have some small ones, and this one can go in sideways, and this one can also go in sideways. And I just rounded the corners on these. So that would be our pockets down there. And like I say, if you glue this in just 3 sides, then you would have a bigger pocket back here. And I think that would be great to have that pocket back there. Then we can fold this back over, and this could still move over into the page a little bit. So then you could have this under here. And then we can open up our envelope pocket. And this is just, it's like the part of a little story about a bird or seeds or something. And that can go in here. Lots of space in this pocket. This is a good size roomy pocket or envelope. And then one of these. So let's pull this back one up just a little and have that one there. And like I say, you know, you still have quite a bit of room in that envelope, and then fold that down. Isn't that cool? That's just a good idea, I think. So I really like this. So you can journal there, can tell what it's about or whatever. Then you have your tags in here. Then we're going to fold it over. We have journal space here. We have tags in this pocket, tags in this pocket, and if we glue our book page down, the 3 sides here, down here and across, then we have another pocket. So I really like this project. So let me know down in the comments what you think, and do you think that you would like to make something like that? So until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.